Okay, it's Big Jeff from BigJeffAudio.com doing some unboxing where you get to see it, learn about it, and possibly even hear it before you buy it. So we're here with some more B2 audios, a ton of new products. So there's going to be a lot of videos in a row. And hit that like button right now. Leave a comment. You can always leave another one at the end. And always share this out. Help spread the Big Jeff audio. And in this case, B2 audio name. That's what we do this for. So we're actually going to be doing something cool because there'll be two separate unboxing videos, but we're going to do the testing to hear it together. So first thing we're going to talk about right now is this new Rage ST Neo.
This way you can see it before you buy it.
Which is a set. Now, cool thing about this is I know B2 audio is not known to be the least expensive stuff, but here is an $89.95 set of 4 ohm 100 watt RMS Neo tweeters. And we're about to look at these. And then we're gonna set this up later, which I gotta do another unboxing for these new Rage CFM 6Ps. And the reason why I'm gonna do it together is because I like to hear the difference separately. And then when you mix this up for what they call loudspeakers and or full range output. Okay, so let's get into this $90 set of Neo tweeters.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So first thing you can see, pretty small box. It is the Rage ST Neo, and we have it documented as 100 watts RMS. And I do see on the box it says 150 watts, which would probably be max power. So a little confliction here because the original specs we gotten on the website is max at 200. Normally it's double what the RMS rating is, but on the box it says 150. Generally on tweeters, you're not going to be putting 200 watts to each. These are especially pretty efficient. It's a 106 dB, so they should be very loud. But I would recommend a good minimum 50 watt by 4 amplifier up to that 100 watts to really get them opened up. Now, another thing you want to keep in mind is something like this that needs 100 watts, you're not going to get this to sound right off of radio power.
No, there is no way.
A head unit that at the very best might get about 18 watts RMS. So will it work on that? Yes, but not to work and sound like they are made to. And there's a misconception of, and we hear it all the time with messages, oh, I only had so much power, so how did it blow?
It wasn't me.
I didn't do it.
You can blow something underpowered just as quick, overpowered.
Well, nobody told me.
And why is that? Usually underpowered, you are turning everything up to get that output, and then that leads to type of clipping signal, distortion, and that is the worst enemy for any audio product. So let's crack into this. Got a pamphlet in here, and I do know B2 Audio has been going to scan codes. This one doesn't have it on it yet, so I'm sure the next batch will.
It sure will.
Just like we talked about, on here it says 150 watts max, so I would stick to that. Should probably get them to update their website. RMS on the paperwork says 75, so there's a little confusion there. We're going to run some power and see and get that updated. What I always tell customers, go off what is in your hands, and here on the pamphlet and also in the box says 75 watts RMS, 150 watts peak, which sounds a lot more, to me, it makes more sense with that size tweeter. But properly tuned with a clean signal, I'm sure you can push the level. 3 kilohertz to 20 kilohertz, 104 dB off of this pamphlet. Neodymium magnet, diaphragm is titanium. Overall diameter 2.95. Circle diameter is 4.5, which is really cool because the way these are designed, you could do just a hole saw. So first thing I noticed is you get some sets of screws. Second thing notice here is this really nice red bottom, which is cool. Now, I like this design And let me turn on the Big Jeff cam here to get a close up.
Activated.
There we go. So as you can see, this would be real simple to install. Let me get, if you had a hole saw, and that shows 2.27 right there. So 2.25 to about 2.5, you should be able to drill a hole, pop that in, and then screw this down. The other cool thing is you can see that these push terminals are basically countersunk in, so you won't have a problem hitting that. Yeah, a little tricky because you still have to get the wire here, but you should be able to pop this in the panel and then pop this on, and or pull it through with the speaker wire. You might have to pull a little bit hard to get the wire through, depending on how tight you actually make that hole. It does have a solid metal grill, so you don't have to worry about nobody pushing on that. And there is a little like mini cone in there. Really cool.
It's really cool.
I really like the look. All right, so what else do we get in this box? Well, it looks like caps. They are branded B2 Audio. And what are caps? For some of you newbies, they're also called bass blockers online. Basically, it is a capacitor. It is set to cap off, right? Capacitor, particular range of frequencies. So this is a 2.2 UF, 250 volt. Basically, this takes away the bass, the lower notes, hence bass blocker, and only allows upper level come through. Now, when and why would you use this?
Why?
Guess why?
And it's very important because usually most time people blow their tweeters, compression drivers, or even loudspeakers up is because they're not crossed over. They're playing a full range signal. Now, with loudspeakers that are full range, they can generally go below 100 hertz. They're not made to do that like a subwoofer. And if you put out full power through them at those lower notes, you would probably either melt that coil, have it overextend where it actually disconnects inside. Now, especially on tweeters and drivers that are made to play much higher frequencies, you would use a simple cap. And how does this work? This has to go on the positive side, and it doesn't just go on there. You actually use this as a pass-through and connect your power, your positive wire, on the other end. So the positive from your amplifier will pass through this capacitor to your speaker, in this case, tweeter. I've seen a lot of people send pictures in where they say, I got the cap on there, and they just have it on there, but they have the wire going directly to the tweeter.
Not good. Not good.
That doesn't do anything. It has to pass through here. What is another reason that you wouldn't use this? Well, DSPs are getting very popular. People are using those to separately amplify biamp, triamp, quad amp, and I don't even know what the other words would be. So you would have an amp or channels just for tweeters, just for drivers, compression drivers, just for mid-range, mid-bass subwoofers, and you can fine-tune that in.
That's the way you like it.
Or at least say, hey, I'm gonna have my tweeters on its own channel. I'm gonna cross that over very high, which you would need to, obviously cross it over in the kilohertz range. So chances are good you're probably gonna end up using this unless you have a good DSP and its own channels for these. So make sure you use that. It's pretty simple. B2 Audio, Rage ST Neo. I have seen, let's see, Sweet Like a Danish 4-ohm voice coil, 150 watt, and then 105 dB. And I've seen some that look like this. So is this some crazy new design? No. Do I know fully what the internals are or what you end up using on the voice coil? I do see a cone in here, and the cone actually makes those, the frequency wave change. You get a more, I call it bandwidth, but a wider range of frequencies with that. So nice packaging, 2 caps, tweeters, and some screws. Okay, so they say chassis diameter is 2.95. So I think you could probably take a hole saw, match it up, drill it, pop her in. Push buttons are, you gotta have a small finger to push down.
Janet has small fingers.
Gotta go.
But that's good because, like I said, it's countersunk. And I think it's just got a really clean look. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we need to hook these up and kind of get an idea how they sound and put some actual power through to them, okay? So listen, with Movie Magic, and again, let me remind you, if you haven't done it yet, hit that that thumbs up. If you're on Facebook, follow, like us. You watch us on YouTube and you haven't, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. I know sometimes on these unboxings, there's not really much to do, especially like a tweeter. There is not that much to do. I do know that you can fix these with a diaphragm. So this grill here is actually pushed on with some type of butyl, not really glue, more of like a butyl rubber. So what you would do is just heat gun the top of the tweeter. You would use a pick tool, pop that up, and there is 3 screws. You would unscrew the 3 screws, the back end pops off, and you pop in a new diaphragm. So these are definitely repairable. Then you say, okay, well, if I heat it up, same thing, you'd heat it back up, push the grill back on, and it'll attach. So the grill is not technically glued on, or I would say not any like real strong adhesive. It is made with like a butyl surround to wedge in there. So you could probably just pry it up, but I wouldn't want to bend this. So I would heat it up first, which would then make it soft, and it should come up pretty easy. And yes, you could do diaphragms to do this. Why would you need a diaphragm? For you new people, most loudspeakers, full range loudspeakers, tweeters, drivers do not come with a warranty. Generally, if you tune it right and play it right, they're not going to blow. It's the people that overdo it, and you get used to it. You turn it up more, you try to get more out of it, or we're talking about underpower, impossible underpower. So they make inexpensive diaphragms because that's the cheapest part on here. And usually they're under 20 bucks or so. And you can just repair it yourself. And in this case, pretty simple. You probably don't even need any soldering or anything. You would just need some heat or leave it out in the sun, pry that up, 3 screws, pull it off, put the new one on, back on, you're done.
It's easy, very easy.
So I know some of these videos are boring, but just the way you get to see these things. And then we're gonna hook it up in a little bit with Movie Magic. I'll be right back. Hey, Movie Magic, and I'm back. Remind you always hit that like button, share this out. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Follow, like, doesn't cost you nothing. And help support the BigJeffAudio.com name. So, as I said in the unboxing, I got, and there's only so much you can do with this type, but what I do have is I have that 6-inch carbon fiber. I do have the Rage ST Neo. So this part of it will be in both videos, depending on which one you're watching. What I also did is I hooked up the AM1 for us to get an idea of power. Now, cool thing I wanted to show you at, even though forum, tweeters don't really have, like you could have a bunch of tweeters, it's really not going to change the impedance too much. It's not like putting 2 forum speakers together and it drops down to 2 or less. Obviously, multiple tweeters would cause enough resistance. But in this case, you can see that it is reading about 3.9 on the SMD. So what I do have is right now both hooked up, and I did this so you can see kind of how much power will be going through them, and we will disconnect each one so you can hear the difference in the sound. Hopefully the video, I try my best on that. I mean, depends if you're listening in headphones or on your car stereo or whatever, but I know people love this stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's check this out. We have the CFM carbon fiber 6-inch, the Rage ST Neo, which we're talking about power, and ratings on the power were like 75 watts here and a total of about 100 something watts there, or excuse me, 80 watts. And it's like, hey, that's not a lot of power, but let's hear the output because these are very efficiently designed. Here we go. I'm talking at normal volume right now, and it is hard to hear me over there. Okay, so first thing, I did disconnect the tweeter and then I disconnected the driver. I'm gonna do that back without the tweeter because I wanna show you how much of a range that 6-inch really does play. Now, will it have that sound? No, that's where the tweeter comes in. But for mid-bass, mid-range, and upper, that bad boy right there is killer. Also, you can see the amount of power putting through here, and I was talking through it at this volume, and it was hard to hear me. So I am gonna disconnect the tweeter right now, put the track back on, have you hear the mid-range. I'm gonna put the tweeter back on, and then I'm gonna walk back so we get an idea, and I will grab my trusty, well, this is not the up and close personal. This is called the, what do we call this one?
Big Jeff, yeah.
Big Jeff Cam. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Okay, so the first part that you saw that little speaker was taking some power. That boy could take it and it really opens up. Second, when I started, tweeter wasn't even on. I don't think you really noticed till I actually put the tweeter on. So that is incredible to put those in your doors, either in a vehicle or a side-by-side or power sports or whatever, and have that type of full range. I'm gonna do it one more time without the tweeter. And now that you're really thinking about it, you're gonna hear that difference, but the reality is it sounds like it was on. Disconnect the tweeter, going back on, here we go. Alright, let's go back. Okay, so what have we figured out here? One, it will play at low volume, very efficient, but it will take that power and it really opens up. Two, the 6-inch and the 8-inch is basically the same, just a larger surface area, so you probably get a little more mid-bass, mid-range out of it. But that plays very high on the scale that until actually probably you thought about what I was saying, you didn't even notice the tweeter came off. But then the tweeter is very high pitched, but it is clear, you can hear it. And I think we're gonna do one more without the driver. I'm gonna pause, I'm gonna try one more thing. Oh, it was starting to register, okay. So it just needed to get that juice. Let me get it going again, sorry about that. Okay, that's really friggin' loud. 52 watts, 40 watts. That is super, super crisp. Super crisp. Okay, so let's head back over to the bench real quick and I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll be right back as quick as we're back. Okay, so I just love doing that, even though I know it's stupid. But anyway, thank you for watching this. So yeah, depending which video you're watching, you're either watching the unbox for the Rage CFM or you're watching the unbox for the Rage ST Neo, but both unboxings did testing together. And just to collab all this together, pretty inexpensive, 140 bucks for a set of these, 90 bucks for a set of those, crisp, clear, loud, and even without the tweeter, this new carbon fiber sounded incredible with a huge range. And put in a 250 watt max, it took that no problem, with no problem, but also under 100 watts was screaming in here. And then you saw to even jump up on the AM1 meter, we had to get some juice going. 50 watts all day long, no problem. 150 watts max, I really wouldn't push this thing that hard. I don't think you need to, because at 50, 60 watts, this thing was wide open. And if I was going to go above that, it wouldn't be with a cap and it wouldn't be together, because remember, if you're sending power together, it's the same amount of power going here. When you bi-amp or tri-amp, you separate the amp, you can adjust the gain settings, basically the voltage to each one separately, because this obviously is going to handle way more power than this, and that's where people blow things up. And if you blow it up, that's fine. Get used to replacing diaphragms. because you're not gonna say it came out of the box that way. You just blew it up that way. Okay, listen, I'm Big Jeff from BigJeffAudio.com, representing also B2 Audio and B2 Audio USA. We got plenty more videos coming of a lot of new product that just hit the US. If you didn't see it, check it out. There's a promo video for B2 Audio and USA, and we're in it unloading a container we got from them. So there's a ton of stuff, and hopefully you become part of the B2 Audio family. We just found out they signed up some new sponsored people for shows and some new dealers, and you know, hopefully the brand, this is its year to grow. So check out my videos. Make sure you hit that like, comment, and share this out. That's for free. That just helps. If you don't like the video, that's all right. Still hit me a like. It's not going to cost you anything. And maybe check the next one. I'm Big Jeff from BigJeffAudio.com, signing off.